Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, she's telling me to hold on a second because life is getting in the way, but we bike. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the 504 Podcast, episode 32. I'm your host, Mark.
And I'm your other host, Erica.
And welcome back. All right, Erica, let's run down the stories. Have you ever seen an 11-year-old get abducted or attempted to be abducted? Well, I have. We'll talk about that. 14-year-old girl gives a baby away in Jersey City.
Crazy.
I'm not gonna make a joke about it. I'll just continue. All right. Bitcoin plummets. Should you buy?
No, I don't know. You're gonna tell me.
I don't know either. Let's continue. How far would you go to hide cheating from your wife? When they say life or death, or till death do you part. What do you think about that? Gender reveals. Are they on the way out in our growing genderless world? We'll find out. And no mask mandates in schools. 2 states are for the funnies or not for the funnies. 2 states are already like, nah, we're not with it anymore. Let's continue. This is the 504 Podcast. This is the 504 Podcast. Welcome. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it. We've both seen the video. 11-year-old girl sitting on the grass waiting for the bus by herself. Gentleman pulls up in a nice, I don't want to say nice, pulls up in a white SUV, sees her sitting there, does a little double back, the U-turn, gets out, runs for her, grabs her, a little scuffle ensues, and he runs away empty-handed. Tell me more about this, Erica.
You see, and this is the problem with the media, because when I first saw that, I was a little skeptical. I'm like, who just pulls up to a girl and gets out of the car and tries to abduct her so randomly? So, researching it, there's more to the video that they don't show you.
What am I missing? Because that's all I saw.
No, I'm sorry. There's not more to the video. There's more to the story, I meant.
Okay.
So the thing, and the mom was getting a lot of backlash because they were like, how could you leave your 11-year-old at a bus stop where there's no one else around? So what happened was 2 weeks prior.
Wait, I have a question. At what age are you not supposed to be with your kid? Because I remember being younger and being able to do different things. So now it's like, how dare you leave your kid at a... Okay, first and foremost, what was the bus stop for? Was the bus stop for going to school? It was a school bus stop.
Yeah.
Why was she the only kid there?
I don't know. Well, that's the other thing that seemed fishy. So what happened was 2 weeks before, this same man approached her. And he started speaking Spanish. And she didn't say if she knew Spanish or not or whatever. But she said she felt uncomfortable, so the bus came. She got on the bus. She told the bus driver. She went and told the school, whatever. And then the mom made it a point to stay with her every morning. And it was like that first morning that she didn't stay with her, that's when the man tried to abduct her.
That's how it always is.
Because my thing is he's probably been stalking her. He's probably driven around how many times, every day waiting for that mom to leave that kid alone.
Yeah, you're right.
So the girl said that she was playing with her slime, and she knew...
That's why slime is not allowed in my classroom.
to put the slime all over his arm to leave as evidence. So when the police would find him, they would see the slime stain on him, I guess. I don't know if it leaves stains. I'm not sure. But so they asked her, how did you know? How do you know about evidence? She goes, oh, I watch Special Victims Unit. What is that, NCIS or something?
It's one of those shows.
Yeah, Special Victims Unit. And she goes, and they always look for the evidence.
I don't know. When somebody broke into my car, and I'm thinking, all right, they used the brick. Somebody come down here and fingerprint the brick so we can get to the bottom of it. No, that didn't happen. There was no evidence collected. It was literally just fill out a form, make a claim, and we'll mail you your claim in the mail. I said, oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah. So I think, this mom is just getting a lot of heat for leaving her daughter.
It's law and order. Law and order.
Story.
That's what it's called, Law and Order.
Oh, Law and Order, yeah. I just feel like there's always more to the story. We only saw a clip of it, and the short clip that they showed us, it just seemed very fishy. Like, it seemed like he knew her. So when I read the story, I was like, well, now, yeah, it all makes sense. He's been stalking her.
So, from just like when I look at these things, it's like where are you going to take this kid? Okay, forget about where you're gonna take this kid. You're putting the kid in the car. Like in my mind, when things like this happen in movies and it's planned out, you need two people. We need to make sure you grab the person, and then when I'm driving, the other person's back there to subdue the person. It's just you. Like, what did you put the child safety locks and you thought that was going to be it? You're going to drive down the street and, wave the person down. Help, somebody help me. Like, it didn't seem like it was, like, very well planned out.
No, but it's scary.
It is scary.
It's scary because there are crazy people out there. I tell my kids all the time. And then my maid was like, well, you're not really specific when you say don't talk to strangers. Like, am I not supposed to say hi to someone who's passing me on the street? Say they're, like, walking and they say hi to me. And I was like, oh, boy. Let's get into specifics. I'm like, I guess that's okay if they seem neighborly. But, I mean, anybody can seem neighborly.
Well, I try to teach my children that they should say hi to people. But anything past... of course, now that I'm recording, I start to get the allergies. But anything past hi, like I've been in situations when I'm like walking into the school with my kids, and then gentleman's like, "Oh, hi, good morning," and I'm like, "Hi, good morning." Brady and Kaden say good morning, good morning. Oh, those are some beautiful kids you got there. Oh, thank you. Hey, man, let me ask you a question. It's all right. Have a good day, sir. Yeah. Keep going. I have no money for you. I have no cookies. Nothing. I have nothing for you. If you pull out a gun, you can have all of this stuff, just not the kids.
I know we're so fixated on teaching our kids how to be kind and polite, and I don't know, like I think it just opens up another Pandora's box of, where do you draw the line?
Well, everything has pluses and minuses. There's positives and negatives. You teach your kids how to be polite and kind, and then they grow up and they're a bit naive. And then you teach them to be, aware of everything, and people have ill intentions, and then they can't see the good side of people.
I think what we do need to do is we need to teach our children to pay attention to their gut feeling, like that feeling in the bottom of your stomach. Like if something doesn't feel right, it most likely isn't right.
You know what it is like
pay attention to it.
Like with kids. It's different, I think, for kids. As an adult, you can already, like, there's other things that you look into. Like, as an adult, I think we can look at someone's body language and determine things. I don't think you really have that so much as a kid. And I think when kids do get that feeling, it's already too late.
I remember being in kindergarten feeling that way. Somebody's father was sitting very close to me, and I just didn't like that he was talking to me. And at one point, he put his hand on my knee. And I felt very uncomfortable. And I was in kindergarten. I didn't tell anybody about it because I didn't know, like, where it was going to go. Or if, maybe it was. I didn't know, but I knew I felt a little strange. So we were doing our school play, so it was the night thing. So I guess he was chaperoning in the class. I don't know. When we went on stage and came back, I made sure to go sit, like, with a whole bunch of other kids. So I was away from him. But I remember that feeling.
Man,
and I remember feeling really weird.
The things I'm going to have to teach my daughter versus my son. It's crazy.
What happened?
I said the things I'm going to have to teach my daughter versus my son. That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't even talk to kids. Like, why are we just talking to kids? I don't talk to kids. It's like, Mr. Baker, what's your favorite sport? No, go ask your father. Those are conversations I have with your father. Let's go. Number 4. Answer number 4.
Or other people's children, too. I'm like, hi, and then they go run away. And I'm like, that's okay. I don't want, that's fine.
Yes,
I've been through that already. I don't need to talk to your kids.
Shoot, I've been in the classroom by myself, like, doing stuff, and a kid walks back in, and I'm like this, what are you doing? It's like Monsters, Inc. It's like, stay on that side of the room. Stay over there. Don't touch me. Get away from me. Because you just never know, man.
Yeah, you never know. Nope. One thing could be misconstrued.
All right, talking about kids. Transitioning on. Did you hear about the story of the 14 or 15-year-old girl walks into the restaurant in Jersey City, gives her baby to someone and
Yeah.
leaves?
So did she? So there's some controversy, conflicting news on that. Did she give birth in the restaurant or somewhere else and walked into the restaurant?
I believe she gave birth somewhere else, but the lady who was there said that she noticed that I guess the child had like afterbirth still on her, and she noticed that the mom had blood on her leg, so she realized that the baby was just recently born. And she asked, can I check the baby's vitals and different things like that. But in the video that I saw, the girl actually walks up to the store owner and asks for help.
Oh.
And then I guess the lady must have overheard and then saw everything, body language and such. And she said, can I check the baby's vitals? And then you see her kind of walk over to the lady, and the lady's, checking the baby, and she just walks out and she leaves. I've seen several videos. I've seen a bunch of news reports. I actually saw the video that the guy who was with her posted. And he doesn't even claim her. He's like this, I'm here with my special friend. She your girlfriend or not? What's good?
So she's claiming she didn't know she was pregnant?
Don't know. I'm assuming she knew she was pregnant.
So now what happens? That's all we're ever going to hear. We're never going to hear any more about this.
Yeah,
like,
I would love the follow up to this.
Exactly. Like, what happened? Like, I don't know. I don't think there'll be a criminal charge, right? Abandonment, because though we have a law where
yes, I believe it's safely. I think it's in. I read this, but of course you put me on the spot and I'm blanking. I think it's within 90 days. It's like safe harbor. You can take your child to like a public, like a fire department, a police department, because what they wanted to do was they wanted to stop having children just be thrown away. Like the same thing, like you're at a party and your friend ODs, and it's like, oh shit, what do we do? Oh, the cops. So they had to create laws because people were just like, just leaving their friends to die or just dropping them off in emergency rooms and then driving off. But it's like we want to help people. Let's put safety first. So in this case, I mean, I would love a follow up. Like I kept thinking, like, what would I do if I was in like that lady's shoes?
Oh well.
Not the kid who gave the baby. I mean, like the actual lady who like was there, holding the child. And then, you see all the police come and they take the baby. And from what I read, they said that they would like to be the child's godparents in the future. Like they would like to, keep in contact and see how the baby turns out.
That's nice. That's going to be like, what's his name on This Is Us? What's his name?
Randall.
Yeah.
I still can't watch the show. Like the new episode came out, I'm just like, I don't care. That's right. Just marry the lady with the mental health issues who gave birth to amazing twins with the eating disorder. It's just like with all the women you could have picked, that's the one who you have twins with. That one. No one even liked Madison. I'm sorry. It's like no one liked Madison. How does she must be related to someone who writes on the show, because it's no way you wrote yourself into like a main spot where we have to look at you now.
I stopped watching a few seasons ago. As soon as I found out how the father died, that was it. I was like, okay, I'm good. Questions answered. I don't need to know anymore.
All right, moving on. Bitcoin. For those of you who have read the stories about Bitcoin plummeting, it's still not time to buy. It's still like at like $30,000 a share. So
why are we buying Bitcoin anyway?
Because it's supposed to be like this cryptocurrency, whatever that is. I don't know. If I can't touch it, I don't know. Like they have images of Bitcoin, but there's nobody there like just with a bunch of Bitcoin in their hand. It's cryptocurrency.
So you use real money to buy Bitcoin money.
Yes, you use real money to buy cryptocurrency, but the thing is, for the $1 you invested 10 years ago, that $1 turns into $1,000. So it's supposed to be it's supposed to be an investment. So if you sell that $1,000 in Bitcoin, you end up with more cash value for it.
Oh.
So it's just putting your money in something, and it turns out to be more valuable because more people want a piece of it. And what was amazing about it was that there were certain companies that were accepting it. So once it was being accepted as currency, because remember, money's not real. It's a tender to pay a debt. So the only thing that's real about money is the promise that someone will take it, someone will buy it from you.
Okay.
So that's what makes money what it is. Somebody promises to buy it from you. But if, let's say, the dollar plummets and nobody buys the dollar, all of the dollars that you have are now garbage. Like with Roman coins or other money that came and went, like Hitler bucks, whatever those things were.
So you think that could happen to the US
Bitcoin?
dollar?
Because of where we are as far as like a nation and what we import and what we export, it's not likely.
It's kind of scary. I don't know.
It's not likely, but I mean, anything could happen. Think of this: not 100, but hundreds of years ago, the United States wasn't a thing. You had the Roman Empire, and then you had other empires that were here, and they all came and they went and they crumbled, and everybody thought they were the biggest and baddest. So I mean, it's possible, but
imagine.
But we all have this financial institution where like money is just widely accepted in different places, and ours happens to be somewhere at the top. So other financial institutions would have to probably go first before it happened to us. But I mean, it could happen. The country implodes. China decides they want all their money now, or else.
That's very possible.
It
I wouldn't put anything as dismiss anything these days. You can put every conspiracy theory on the table. I probably believe all of them until it happened, or it didn't happen.
All right, so Mun, this is a story that you might not relate to, but for some fellas out there, they might relate. So, you're in a hotel doing something a little strange for a piece of change with somebody who is not your significant other. And your significant other finds out about it, and they come to the hotel and they bang on the door. Open the door! Open the door! And you're in there with your side piece, or the politically correct term, your relationship assistant.
Your relationship assistant.
And you don't want to get caught. How far would you go to hide? Or would you just go, the jig is up?
What do you mean? Like literally hide? Like hide it?
Well, how far would you go to hide the affair from your significant other?
At that point, there's no hiding it, because if they are at the hotel room, they've been stalking you. They've been following you. They've been tracking your finances, your credit cards. So at that point, there's no lying. You have to come clean.
Well, you could still lie. You can just say, my credit card was stolen.
Yeah, but they found you at the hotel room. At that point, it's like, yeah.
I mean, I remember like in early relationships, when I wanted to like do something, I formulated plans in my head to figure out how I can say I was kidnapped for a weekend.
Oh my God.
But that's my stupid man brain. Like, how can I figure out a way to say that I was kidnapped, but only for the weekend, and then I get found Monday morning? But then that's the stuff right there that you end up in jail for doing something stupid. But long story short, getting to this story, somebody named Mick Kevin or MC Kevin falls to his death trying to hide from his wife because he was having a threesome in a hotel room.
And he tried to get out of the window?
I'm assuming he tried to get out of the window by climbing down the balcony, and he fell instead and he died. So when they say till death do us part, he took it literally.
Literally. Oh, well. I figure at that point, if you're caught red-handed, you just might as well fess up.
I know, but there were some people who would rather deal with other consequences than those consequences. Like I've seen situations where men who are gonna get divorced will say, I'll kill myself, because they don't want to deal with being divorced. So what you do is you threaten to hurt yourself so that the person stays.
Yeah, but maybe because they really are, maybe they're still in love, or they want to make it work, or they just want to be with that person so badly. But if you are going to be caught, like you walk in and you see your significant other in bed with another person, there's no way around that.
You gotta just play it at that point. It's like, yo, listen, close
What?
the door. It's a draft. That's what Jay-Z said.
That's a good one. You're like, yeah.
He said, I saw the tears when she walked on in.
We're not done. I'll call you when we're done. You can come back in and argue with me then.
Like, we were just getting started. Why don't you go and freshen up into something nicer? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know what's scary? It's scary when, like, I've seen a prank where this chick was dating this hood dude. Now, I always say this, like, when women date these thugs, it's all fun and games when everybody else is afraid of them. So, like, when you're dating Butchie, and Butchie run the streets, and you're like this, don't make me call Butchie. Don't make me get Butchie over here. It's all fun and games when all the neighborhood is afraid of Butchie, and then Butchie does something to you, and then now you're afraid of Butchie, and we're like this. Now you understand why we're afraid of Butchie. So I saw a chick do a prank on her gang member blood boyfriend. She puts the mannequin head in the bed with Tim's on, puts it under the covers, and she's pretending that there's a guy in the bed. So what do you think this gentleman did?
Oh, I don't know. Probably shot up the bed.
That's exactly what he did. He pulled out his gun and he shot at the bed several times. Pat, 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 pat. And ran out. Didn't care to know did you know she was in a relationship? Do you know who I am? Like, yo, nothing. Just, he has to die. I wonder if she's still with this gentleman, because that would be a sign right there to say we should end the relationship and we probably should not have children.
No, she probably likes it. Like, oh, look what he did for me.
I always have this question. At what age do women outgrow wanting to date the crazy man? And it's always a good question, because it's like it's something, and even like men with the crazy girl, it's like it's something about like that crazy that's just like, it's like, that
keeps drawing them in.
Yeah, it's like a little magnet. It's like it's something about the crazy. But for women, it's like when a man dates a crazy chick, it's like, all right, she's gonna key up my car, she's gonna do something stupid, but you never really feel for your safety. But when women date the crazy guy, it's like he's going to key up your car, he's going to slash your tires, and he might come home and strangle you. So at what age do you outgrow these things? And you go, you know what? I don't want to date the crazy guy. I want to date the banker from Wells Fargo with a 760 credit score who has a relationship with his mom.
That has a lot to do with their inner feelings, or probably childhood trauma that they've had to deal with, or something that they haven't dealt with yet.
I don't know, Erica.
There's definitely something pushed down in their brain.
But the crazy ones are always pretty.
But they haven't addressed their own traumas. Maybe that's what it is. There's a reason for it.
You know what I think it is? I think it's God's way of like balancing the playing field. It's like this. Ooh, I put a little bit too much crazy in the pot. So let me add some extra pretty in there to balance out the crazy.
Oh my God.
It's like with scorpions. The scorpions with the really big pincers aren't really venomous. And they're not really venomous because they don't really need a lot of venom, because they have really big pincers and they can hold on to their prey.
Yeah.
But the scorpions with the little tiny pincers, they'll kill you dead. It's nature's way, or God's way, of balancing the playing field. Really, really, really big spiders might not really have to be afraid of them. They're not very venomous.
And then these crazy people that you speak of, they don't think there's anything wrong with them.
No, they never do. They never do. sometimes I drive myself crazy trying to see their point of view. And I'm like, I just don't get it. How is this not crazy? You know, crazy is
Yeah,
gonna be one of those words that they're gonna ban. Crazy is offensive to people like me who deal with issues of understanding reality. And I don't want that word crazy to be used ever again. We're putting a ban on it. They're gonna have the little C with the cross through it. Crazy is offensive.
you're right. You're right. When that happens, you heard it here first.
Like just being in a relationship with your significant other, and you go, yo, you're crazy. How dare you say that to me? How dare you call me that word?
Yeah,
You're not allowed to call me that word.
Fantasy
Why?
word.
Because you have to identify as crazy in order to use that word. So you are crazy. Ah!
Identify.
If you don't identify as crazy, you can't call me crazy.
That's the other key word, identify.
All right. Moving on. I want to talk about the no mask mandates in schools in Texas and South Carolina, but I really don't know much about it as of right now. I know the governors are pushing bills. I'm not sure if it's the governors or the mayors. They're pushing bills to take their mask mandates because, I mean, they don't have mask mandates in like general areas. So if you want to go to a store, don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to wear a mask. But the big thing was kind of them saying in schools that there's no mask mandate. Now, we all know that schools are their own entity. So you go to a restaurant, you sit down, you take your mask off, you're 3 feet away from other people. In your little area, you can take your mask off. But you and I know in our school, even though there are children in the classroom and they're way more than 6 feet apart from us, we still have to wear our mask because schools go by different rules. So these states want to make it so that if the kids don't want to wear a mask, they don't want to wear a mask. I personally don't see anything wrong with it. I think it should be left up to the parents of said children. As an adult, if the kids aren't wearing masks, okay, that's them. If kids want to wear masks, okay, that's them. Like, I'm all for everyone having their own choice.
Yes.
And that's I think the issue with a lot of people in the United States. Like, you take choice away from people, and then people turn into this oppositional, defiant person, where even though this is what the mandate is, I don't care because you took my choice away, and you take my choice away, and I'm going to show you that I'm angry. What do you think about that? What do you think about the whole story?
So if these states are giving the schools, they're giving them the option, no masks.
Yeah.
So you're right. They're maybe kids.
No. Sorry. They're not giving schools the option. What they're saying is there is no mask mandate in school. So if a kid still wants to wear their mask, they can wear a mask. If the kid doesn't want to wear a mask, they don't wear a mask. But it's up to the person, and the school can't say you must wear a mask.
Yeah, I'm for that. I think it should be. I think people should be allowed to not wear a mask, and I think institutions and businesses. Okay, maybe like on a state level, I don't know, making it a mandate where they're saying no more masks, but if you want to, fine. But like, I don't know about businesses and stuff. I don't know if small businesses should still have the right to say, you can't come in our store if you don't have a mask. But at the same time, they're running the risk of losing customers, because who's policing that? You don't have a mask, you're going to go up against somebody who's going to become defiant.
If I'm wearing a mask, why do I care if you have a mask or not?
Exactly.
That's always been my thing. Like, if I'm wearing a mask so I can stay safe, and then I stay 6 feet away from you, I don't care if you're wearing a mask or not.
That's been my question the entire time.
And then all the data shows that, okay, wearing a mask may protect you a bit more, but the thing that's really protecting you is just staying away from people. It's not so much the mask. I guess the mask gives you that extra layer of security. But, I mean, if somebody's wearing a mask and they cough, and they have COVID, even though they're wearing the mask, and you walk right into that area. I mean, think of when people are online outside stores, right?
Yeah.
And you stand in your box, and the other person standing in the box in front of you, and then somebody goes into the store. You've now moved into that box. And once you move into that box, all the air that was already there, you're now breathing in that air. Because, I mean, it's not like you're getting a fresh dose of air from your mask. So that's why it's like, you know, it's just an extra layer of protection. But when the pandemic started and I was going to the supermarket, I wasn't wearing a mask. There was no mask mandate. I just stayed away from people. I waited my turn in line and I stayed away from people.
And then they enforced the masks.
But I don't want to downplay, you know, how serious the virus is, because I know people have died from it. So, I mean, I do understand the severity of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm also... But I
think as time goes on, they're seeing who it affects and how it affects them. Before, it was just that big blanket statement. Everybody gets sick. Okay, but now there's different variations of sick. And how it affects different aged people. Like my mom is in a nursing home. She, knock on wood, nothing. She's been in a room with a COVID patient who died, and they left the COVID patient in there 3 hours dead. He was in the bed next to her.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, I keep calling and saying, when are you taking her out? When are you taking her out? When you know, my mom has not, she's convinced that it's a certain blood type or whatever medicine she's taking for her blood. You know, and she doesn't stay cooped up in her room. She's allowed to leave her room, go to the common area and smoke her cigarettes with her friends, where they take their masks off and they're blowing their smoke to each other. So I think that's why there has to be some sort of, you know, they have to start loosening the reins here. It's not one, what's that called? One the square round peg fits into.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander, whatever that means.
Yeah.
What is a gander?
A bunch of geese is like a school, like a school of fish. I was going to say.
It's not a flock.
And a gander, like, I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up when the episode's over, because when they always say what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I'm like, what the heck is a gander?
I'm pretty sure it means a bunch of something. Yeah, a flock of geese, or a gander of geese.
I don't know. All right, let's move on to our last story before we get out of here. If you're still listening at this point, please make sure you give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you're into that thing. I'm not sure if you guys have, like, you know, Google accounts, but give it a like, subscribe, put some comments on there. We respond to the comments. Mun, estimation in our growing genderless world, how long do you think it will be before gender reveals are canceled?
Not very long.
Give me 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, never.
I say within the next couple of years, 2 years, you know, the gender reveals are going to be like, you know, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're having one of those. What if your baby is born and doesn't want to be a gender?
Just you saying it's like, because sometimes when you hear certain things, like when you hear it, you go, wow, somebody could possibly say that.
I follow people on Instagram that have had children and they left the gender blank because they want their child to grow up and be whatever they want. They're not. They gave the baby has like an ambiguous name. It's not a he or she. It's a they right away because they want this child to grow up and find who they are. So yeah, gender reveals, they will be canceled. And I don't know. When I was pregnant, there was no gender reveal parties, so this is fairly new.
I mean, I personally don't care for gender reveal parties. I think it's like nobody cares what the sex of your baby is. Or you know what, people do care, but at that point they've already bought the gift. It's just like, oh, hey, like, you know what? I was into gender reveals when it was like the, you know, we're going to cut the cake and the inside of the cake. Oh, that's pretty cool. Or pop the balloon. Oh, it's really cool. Now it's dudes out here shooting basketballs, doing weird stuff. They jumping over cars.
Well, when I found, I wanted to find out.
There wasn't there a forest fire at some point from a gender reveal party?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to find out what Madeline was, and they weren't 100% sure. So my OBGYN said, listen, there's a 60% chance you're having a girl, but I wouldn't go and paint the bedroom pink yet. So I was like, okay.
I wanted my gender reveal to be in the hospital.
Yeah, like these days there's no element of surprise. I understand sometimes people want to know because they want to plan and stuff, but I don't know, it's not the one time in your life that, it can be a surprise.
What is there to plan for the sex of the baby? What is there to plan?
Buy clothes, you want to make a nursery, you want to plan around that or whatever. That's what I mean.
But I feel like some of like the boy clothing for babies is like kind of just like gender neutral, but the girl clothing is specifically for girls. Like if you put the little white little t-shirt on, the little snappies at the bottom, it's for a boy or a girl. Yeah, and then all of a sudden when it's a girl, then they put the little fluff on the shoulders.
Yeah, I think they're going to become a thing of the past. Well, like I said, I don't remember them being popular, and this was 15 years ago. So this fairly new, like having gender reveal parties, like these big extravagant balloon popping, fireworks or whatever. That's newer, but it's going to be canceled. Somebody will get offended. Why are you putting that pressure on your unborn baby to be a certain gender before it's born? Well, you got that gender reveal party and you said it was a girl, but she really identifies as a boy, and you messed them up before he was even out of your womb.
Boy. Well, not boy. Oh, before we end it, did you see the video of the person losing their mind? I think it was a Popeyes. It was a Popeyes. No. And it was like a trans person. It's like this, how dare you call me sir? How dare you call me sir? And I'm watching this thing, like, I'm not the person's the thing, but I'm watching I'm watching this video going, this is just bad. This is just all bad. Because at no point did I look at the person and say they were just like mildly offended. I'm like, no, this person was triggered, like mentally triggered. To the point where it's like, I'm being discriminated against. It's like, yo, it's Popeyes. It's the $5 chicken special. You get 2 pieces of chicken, biscuit, and fries for $5. How do you get discriminated there?
But I think the employee, like, specifically kept saying, sir.
No, what he said was, he never said it the first time. But the person said, you called me sir. You called me sir. So on the way out, he said, have a good day, sir. And then the person came back. And he's like, I said it the second time. But the part of the video that made me laugh was he was like, yo, bro, chill. And he goes, bro, I'm not your bro. He's like, chill, sis. It's like this, don't call me sis. And then that's when I found out that I'm a cis man, apparently. I'm a cis man. I'm a cis male. You're a cis female. Never knew that I had a term. But at the end of the video, the thing that made me laugh the most, because the manager comes out and they're like, sir, like, stop calling me sir. If anybody wants to link to that video, let me know. I will find it. That person was clearly triggered. You would have just gotten the whole thing, the whole approach taken care of. You just do what Erica does and just write to the company on Twitter. They'll take care of it. He'll lose his job.
Send you coupons.
He'll get some coupons. Is it coupons or coupons?
I say coupons.
It's coupons.
I don't know who says coupons.
That's the word of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Coupons or coupons? Let us know in the comments.
So wait, a gander is a male goose.
That's it? Just one?
Yeah.
So what's good for the goose is good for the male goose.
I guess.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that fly stuff. If you have a small business, you want to be a sponsor on the show, let us know. We'll get you in there somewhere. All right, this is the end of the episode 32. I'm one of your hosts, Mark.
And I'm the other, Erica. And I do not have any last words.
I didn't ask her this time. You see, I didn't ask her. Now when I don't ask, that's when she wants to say, I don't have any last... Nothing. Ta-ta and farewell.